All right. Thank you, everybody that is currently here and will join us and will watch this video later on. This little get together today is just to talk about participation in Queerburners at different levels. We thank you, Brian, for the thumbs up. We became a formed organization as a nonprofit in the beginning of January after working a lot through 2020 to get there. At our current stage, we're formed, but we're just waiting for the last of the IRS paperwork. So we can do some of the stuff that we want to do. But that's not going to keep us from not advancing as much as possible. We've got some stuff that we need to take care of in the immediate, and that is there's one board position that we have somebody in a temporary role for that we're looking to replace. So he can move on to his other projects. We've already got one candidate in the pipeline for that, and we're, if there was anybody else specifically interested in the treasurer position, that person should speak up on immediately, only because we are actively trying to change that role. Another position that we could use some help in is with our clerk or secretary position. There is somebody in that role that is doing a great job right now, and I don't know if he still wants to move into another role that he was originally going for, but he took the role and is doing a great job anyways. At present, at this meeting right now, is actually other members of our organizing committee and board and officers. I'm just going to ask them to just kind of wave hi and introduce themselves. I'm going to go ahead and start with Wink, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wink. I guess I can say Camp with Tickled Mink, and have been working in sort of a communication role with Queerburners since, I forget when we started, Toaster. May. So that's me.
Okay, and then we also have Nexus.
Hey everyone, Nexus here. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm zooming in from the traditional occupied and unceded land of the Anacostan and Piscataway folks. In addition to being affiliated with Queerburners and on the board, I'm also a relatively new board member for Comfort and Joy and the org's first Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Officer.
All right. Thank you guys. Did I miss anyone? Because I think everyone else. This is my third Zoom meeting for Queerburners stuff today. So, and number 2 for at least 2 other people here. Well, for 3 people here, actually. I do want to kind of keep it light. And since there aren't a lot of us here right now, we have a total of 8 present at the moment. This will allow us to get a little bit more intimate with each other and maybe talk about some of the things that you're here and interested in. One of the people that is here right now, JP, I've already been talking to you a little bit today. Maybe you can share what's bringing you here today.
Yeah, so my name's JP. I am also a member of Tickled Mink with Wink. And I love going to Burning Man and definitely want to try to continue with this organization. Been involved a little bit, but definitely interested in the treasurer position if the opportunity sees fit. And I currently, I work for an accounting company. I don't have a CPA, but I've been talking to Scott this morning and Nick, and I think that, you know, some of the things that are needed, some of the things that I have, and it's why Wink and I have been talking about it and really trying to make sure that I could at least put my name in the hat.
Thank you very much. And he referred to Nick, who is currently filling our treasurer position. Nick is with Burners Without Borders, and he has been helping us with our formation and all of our processes that got us to where we are today. And he wants to step out of that so he can move on to his other projects. And he's a CPA and he's got tax season. So he's, that's his priority right now. So, you know, let's see, I'm gonna just call in a couple people. If you do not want to talk, just let me know through messaging or any other way you want to let me know. But since I can see, is it Enos? Oh, you're muted. Let me unmute you. Hold on.
I think I'm now unmuted.
You are.
Good. I am a long ago burner and a possible future burner. And I'm interested and fascinated and laud efforts by people who are not mainstream.
Who are not?
Are not mainstream, whatever majority culture. And so, and I've so interacted with the local burner community only as a volunteer so far.
What's your local community? Where are you?
Oh, I'm in Maryland, but I hang out with some of the DC burners. I've been over to Nexus Place, and etc.
Okay, I love it. And was there something that caught your eye that were asking for help on, or did you see yourself?
Not so much. I don't want to say wherever Nexus goes, I would follow, but I'm certainly, as much as what I have learned about him, I appreciate whatever projects he's on. So that curiosity is part of it. I don't know whether I have anything that I can offer. I do speak several other languages, Chinese and Japanese. So if you're ever wanting to interact with people from those places, I could probably be of help.
Oh, very cool. Thank you so much. Can I reach out to Ruth for, hi.
Hi. I'm Ruth. I'm taking a break in the middle of a ski day right now. So I'm up in the Tahoe area, originally from Australia, but living part-time in Tahoe, part-time in the Bay Area. My interest in Queerburners, after having gone to Burning Man for a few years, is just in how I can contribute in increasing the sense of diversity and equity that we see at Burning Man. In my day job is being a teacher, so I'm a kindergarten teacher, but my passion and interests are really focused on equity work in education and just in society in general. So I have my master's in educational equity, and so I just really want to get involved in whatever way I can. So really interested to see where we can take this and yeah, what's happening.
Was there, I mean, because we've been interacting a little bit over time, you and I. Has there something that we've been talking about so far that, other than possibly the obvious about, you know, equity and inclusion and stuff like that, that has caught your eye, or is it specifically that kind of stuff that we're working on?
I suppose I'm still sort of waiting to see what exactly my role can be, but I really do want to play an active part. So I'm just trying to sort of wait and see exactly what that should be, where I would be most useful. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm gonna kind of gloss over today, just to kind of give an aerial view of what we have on the table right now. And I mean, one person that I've talked to that's present with us today is offered some idea of his own that as far as participating with Queerburners on is it's a community-based project. But I'd like to reach out to Scooter now and see what brings you here today. And maybe you could bring up some of the things we've talked about in the past too. Oh, hold on, you're still on mute. Let me unmute you. You're still muted. That's to unmute.
Unmute. There we go.
Ah, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Well, I'm a longtime burner, and I'm mostly here to listen and liaise because I have lots of other projects. So I don't think I have a lot of time to devote to Queerburners. But that said, I'm interested in having Queerburners devote time to my projects. I'm working on a regional event in the East Bay for this summer, a regional burner event, as well as a mid-scale art project for the Santa Cruz Regional, whenever that's held next, and for Burning Man out in the desert, whenever that's held next. Presumably 22. So that's the main thrust of my energies. But I do want to have a queer presence in the project for the summer, certainly. And I like being part of the background of Queerburners, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And you've talked to me about your East Bay project. I'm also in the East Bay, and I've talked to the team about it too. So definitely, part of I think what we're doing is in the scope of what Queerburners is about is supporting community-based projects. So that definitely falls in that, and we'd love to talk to you more about that. Next up, I have Brian.
Hey guys, hello. Thank you for having me. My name is Brian. I live in Los Angeles. I've been to Burning Man the past 5 years, and I tuned in today just out of curiosity. I was hoping to learn a little bit more about the organization. It is something that I find interesting, and I like what you guys are doing.
I know a little bit about everybody here, but how are you coming to us, and where are you at in the world?
I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm trying to remember, how did I sign up? Is that the question?
No,
I think
what caught your eye about what we're doing here?
I mean, I'm a gay man who goes to Burning Man, and I've been familiar with your organization. I'm not sure where. It might have been just Burning Man Jackrabbit Speaks emails, possibly. And again, just tuned in out of curiosity. I wanted to see what I could hear about, learn about.
Okay. So some of the stuff that we're asking the community for, and it's not limited to, I mean, like if you know someone that, you want to drag them in and say, hey, you should check this out, please, I encourage you to. If you see something that you say, hey, I'd like to be supporting on that, or I would like to, maybe there's something you see we're missing and you want to propose that as well. We're definitely open. The big projects that we have starting off is equity, inclusion, and diversity as something that is evolving still, but is something that I personally am wanting to be very clear about for what we're representing to the community. It's hard to, as a majority cisgendered white male environment, to convey that and to be open to that. And I think it's really important that we're always, as an organization, you know, keeping that in mind. And if we're not, that somebody is calling us out on it, if that makes sense. We do have certain board roles that we have already filled. Let me bring that up real quick. Hold on. Got the wrong screen here. There we go. So the board right now, we have a chairperson, and that's myself. The co-chair is open. We don't know if we're going to fill that role. We have a treasurer, clerk, communications officer. The clerk is Matt from Land of Monkey. Communications officer is Wink from Tickled Mink. Our events officer is Starduster from Comfort and Joy. And we don't have a participant advocate yet. That's just one of those roles that we've talked about doing. There's committees that we have in place right now that's developing. One of them is captained by Nexus for equity, inclusion, and diversity. There's a recruitment team, which I'm taking the lead on. And then all of us 2021 is something we're exploring to see if we can even have this year. We might be doing other things. So the events team is always going to need help. And then every single role here is going to need help as well. This is how the future chairperson or the future treasurer or the future clerk is going to come into play. You're helping that person, supporting them, you know, being part of that. You're just engaged, and maybe you want to take on that role when that ends, because each role is about that's official, that's on a like the board voting level is 1, 2, and 3 years. They're all different. It just depends on what you can commit to. Additional roles that are coming up, there's grant and asset manager for artists and performers. We have art and performance manager. This will be integrated a lot with the events team, helping coordinate performers and stuff like that. We have marketing and public relations that we need assistance with. Social media, we need somebody that's really good at, you know, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, that works really, that works under the communications officer. And we have a whole, you know, structure of policies, and that it's not very convoluted. It's pretty, you know, easy to work with. Let's see. We've talked about adding a CPA or an accountant and bookkeeper to our roles, but the way that the treasurer role's evolving, we'll take that as it comes. And then we also have a technology manager who is basically setting up all of our technical needs and documentation with that. And beyond that, there's a whole bunch of roles within the events team, you know, when it comes to doing an event. And it's great for Kurt to have, you know, those resources to pull on, you know, to get involved with that as it goes forward. Do any of these like get anybody's attention, or is there questions about any of this stuff so far? You can raise your hand or just pop in if you like. Yes, sir. Let me unmute you real quick. Passed. There we go. I'm still muted for some reason. I can't seem to unmute you. There you are.
There we go. Sorry. That final position, the idea of during, in the case of an event, I would like to be a person who could be called upon in a pool of people who would be supportive of an event or a project.
Okay. Is there, have you ever done like a regional kind of thing, event within the community before, or participated in one?
A regional what now?
You've gone to regionals?
I have never been to a regional. I've
Okay.
only been to Burning Man.
And then, okay. No, the only reason I'm asking is just, either they're a region, getting involved is just a great way of really tapping into the community. So that's great. We'll definitely pass your information on to Kurt. And you can jump into events, meetings if you like. Right now, we've been meeting about, I think, once or twice a month. We're just trying to navigate COVID right now with events. You know, the normal stuff. If we can't do all of us, we're talking about a new event in the fall. And then we've also been talking about stuff like Scooter was talking about with local regional events. You know, one of the things that we're also talking about is a event in the Northeast for 2022. Like all of us, dance, baby, dance. Possibly in the Pennsylvania area or wherever. So we're not just a West Coast organization for the United States, because there's people that want to be involved in different places around the world too. And it definitely encourage people to do their own thing in their own neighborhood, in their own areas. And if there's a way we can help, we will help. You know, that actually speaks to another leg of the basics in our organization for starting off is, you know, helping raise funding for artists and performers and community events and stuff like that in different areas of the country. Not limited to those people just going to Burning Man, but regional events and stuff that they're doing in their community as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else got anything right now? So getting involved is really the key. It's just showing up. One time somebody approached me and said, well, who appointed you leader of XYZ? And I'm like, nobody. Then someone else once asked me, well, I want to do a regional event. How do you do it? And you just do it. You show up, you bring it to the table. That's the key. Nobody elected me anything. You know, it was just a matter of showing up. And it's the same thing with the people that are right here, right now. You know, there's people that show up, and then there's people that complain that they're not being seen, but you can't be seen unless you're showing up to the party, you know? So I definitely encourage people to be present and speak up, because that's the only way we're going to get to, you know, making something wonderful happen. I mean, what Spring Retreat was the events that happened in, I think, 2014 and 2015. Those were at a Radical Ferry airspace here in Northern California. And just the magic that came from that was just so inspiring. And you can have that magic too. It's just, you know, show up and just do your best. And it's just amazing the feedback that you get. The same thing with all of us, 2017 and 2018 at Saratoga Springs, also Radical Ferry space. But those weren't my first trips to the rodeo, because I also did regional events in Southern Nevada when I was actively part of that community. And I went to probably half a dozen different regional events to the West. And it's just showing up and doing. This is going to be a short meeting. If if people don't have a lot of questions, but if you do have questions and I can answer them, I'm happy to tackle that. If this has just inspired some thought, I think that's great too. But the calendar, we're working on making the calendar public so people can see when we're having meetings and just join in if they want. And we'll work on that channel. Be sure and check out the new website. That's queerburners.org. It's currently getting a little bit of evolution because we're starting on a new channel to possibly get people more interactive, which I'm not sure how far is in the future. Did you want to say something about that, Wink?
Just Ruth had raised her hand. I don't know if you've seen that. So
I did not. I'm sorry about that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ruth.
That's all good. You're providing a great overview. I was ready to listen until my time. I was just wondering, you mentioned about the co-chairperson role, that it may exist, it may not exist. Is there something specific that the Queerburners team is looking for that?
No, just I'll get you in 1 second, Brian. No, not specifically, because we're just looking for leadership. We need someone that just wants to that can be present and is invested in what's going on. I'd love to talk to you more about that. We can do one-on-one when you're not skiing.
That sounds great.
And I'm happy for you to reach out to me anytime. I think we exchanged phone numbers, right?
I think so. I'll double check.
All right, I'll double check
awesome.
too. Brian?
Sounds good.
Hey, there was a position you mentioned that was around talent booking for events, and I was curious if that was for regional events or for Burning Man itself, and if maybe you could speak a little bit more about that job.
So my answer to that is yes.
For both, yeah.
So the talent manager will have kind of a double pronged kind of role. One, helping, you might help, like if I got this artist out of Texas, for example, that reached out to us, who wanted to bring his art to all of us in 2018 or 2017. And so I might ask you to engage this person, find out if they need funding. And if they need funding, then we'll work on them with whoever's handling grants and that process and money raising. But if they want to go to all of us, you'll coordinate with whoever's captaining the all of us event. But maybe they need help in their community. Maybe they need help getting into, maybe with the process, with just assisting them along the way. I've got a couple of people that have kind of raised their hands and says, hey, I'm a community resource, use me. There's one guy actually out of LA. I don't remember who that wasn't you, was it?
Mm-mm.
No, that as it talks about helping people manifest, I think it was manifest the materials and processes they need to build their art. So they said they had really good resources, and his name was Scott. That's right. Hard to forget that name. But yeah. So it's kind of a role where you are probably first engaging the artist and helping them get in the direction of financing with one of our whoever's leading that role. And that person will, of course, work with the treasurer, and see how it kind of works together. And that you'll yeah. Does that make sense? Does that answer your
It
question?
does. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
I love it. Yes. Any other questions? I'm happy, happy, happy. Well, I do appreciate people being present and showing their interest. I'll be posting the video for the community to see, and maybe more people to follow up with more questions as we continue to evolve. The more people we get involved, the more we're able to do. And just the faces that I'm seeing, just I'm phenomenally happy about, and I really appreciate everybody being here wholeheartedly. JP, we're going to be meeting up sometime soon to talk more. Ruth, I'll reach out to you directly. Brian, if you need to follow up, I'm happy to send you my number, or you know, we're working out. We've been doing this kind of closed setting up over the last year, and now we're changing over to a place where we're more open and reachable. So anybody can reach us through info@queerburners.com. If there's any question, or if you have my direct email, that's also fine too.
Same with me. I'm about to throw mine in the chat if anyone wants to particularly connect on equity, diversity, and inclusion stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And I get to see some of you on a regular basis, so I'll be happy to see the rest of you even more. Okay, cool. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. See ya.